We do this every day, we do this love for life. You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine. But I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got the way your body makes my heart beat down. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna crazy for love.
Well, hello. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Sorry, I am about 2 minutes late. Yeah, I got caught in a really wonderful, amazing conversation just now that I could not get out of. So, yeah, I am here regardless. And it is sunny, bright, beautiful Tuesday here in Los Angeles, California. Those of you who are new to me, good afternoon. I'm Michelle Quay. I am the creator of this particular group, the Visibility Confidence Lounge. And you are here because you love me and I love you too. Yeah, you are here because you're looking for a way to grow your business, make it personal, branding, and you are going to get out there and you're going to get yourself seen, her higher. Welcome to live training. Today we are going to talk about the 10 ways that you can repurpose one single content. Now, I know yesterday we all experienced that Facebook downtime, right? Your Facebook, your Instagram were down. And so what did you do during those downtime? Like maybe 8 hours or 9 hours? No, 7 hours. I think it was 7 hours. So if you put all your eggs into one basket, what happened when you drop that basket? That basket is going to break all the eggs. So never ever put your all your eggs into just one single basket. Which brings me to today's topic. It's 10 ways to repurpose your content. How do you repurpose your content so you're not sitting there and spending a whole lot of time and just thinking about what do I post? What do I talk about? How do I go about doing this? I have all these different platforms I need to cover. How do I cover them all? So, I'm going to share my one amazing method of how I use one piece of content and that you can create 10 different ways of sharing it. So, the first way that you can repurpose a content is I personally love videos. So video is something that's very low bar for me. I just turn on the videos, I start talking, I have a podcast. So I start talking and then get a recording of the videos. So one piece of content can be a video. Now, if you like to write, you could be a blog post. So that's just start with the video first, right? Because that's my low bar and that's something that I'm very familiar with. I can just turn on the video, no problem. So take that piece of video. The second way that you can reuse that video is how Zoom and StreamYard, no matter what type of video streaming platform, they all have the same function. You can upload your video, download the video, and take out the audio version of it. So that's say, for example, you record yourself on a Zoom doing a live webinar. You have 30 minutes of live webinar content that is ready for you to repurpose. What do? You download the video, use your computer. If you use a MacBook, then you can use iMovie. There's also there's another program that's called Final Cut. Final Cut allows you to do the editing. It allows you to do the audio's version of it. So either of these programs will work. If you have a Microsoft, there's an equivalent version of iMovie that you can use. And what you do is you download an audio version of it, And you're going to upload that audio version to a podcast or to an audio website. So, for example, SoundCloud. SoundCloud is one of the places where you can store a piece of audio content and you can reshare the audio content. So, let's say you're hosting a meditation session, do it on the video, download the audio, upload to your SoundCloud. That becomes a audio version. Now, with that content, you have the sound, you have the video. The next step would be the third way of how you can repurpose this content is do a transcription, right? So there's a lot of transcription software out there. There's something called Otter, Otter. Otter is one of the transcription services, and they have a free version of it. You upload your audio, and you get a transcribed version of your audio. So that's three ways so far. You make a video, grab the audio version to make a podcast, and then transcribe the video to make a article. Now, what do you do with that article that now that you have transcribed? You can use it several different ways. The first number one way is to make it all pretty, right? You want to, because it's got timestamps. So you're going to remove all the timestamps. You're going to change your grammar. Maybe there's some misspelled words. So you're going to redo it and use that as a blog post. Right? How brilliant is that? You didn't even have to type it. You just transcribed it. You speak into the microphone, you do it on a video, you have the video, you have the audio, you have the transcription version of it, and now you have a blog post after you clean it up. Now, from that blog post, you can grab quotes. There's a possibility that, well, somewhere in there you say something that's really brilliant. So now you can use that transcribed version of the Word document and you can have quotes. What do you do with the quotes? Quotes can be shared and reshared on your Twitter. So hopefully you also have a Twitter account. You can tweet your own quotes onto the Twitter, do a little reflection, and you can even go into Canva, which is your favorite app, right? I know everybody loves Canva. And you can create a graphic using your own personal quote into a little Instagram post. So there you go. You have the quotes, you have the blog post, and you have Instagram posts just from the piece of content video that you have created. And you didn't do anything else besides just getting onto the camera and start talking, and you just let your words out. All right. So far we have make a video, grab the audio, transcribe the videos, and then getting quotes from your transcribed videos or your blog post, turn that into smaller graphics, right? Quotation for your Instagram. And then what you can do is maybe you were talking about sharing tips. For example, I have 10 ways of repurposing the content in this particular video. What I can do is I can make a list or infographic and that summarize how exactly the 10 way to repurpose your content. So now you have an infographic that speaks exactly what you had talked about in the initial video that you did. All right. Now, what do you do with the video? So far we talked about the transcription, right? So blog posts, quotes, and infographic with the transcribed material that we use. What about the video? The video, you can use it on, take out snippets of the video and to make it into a 1-minute video segment for your Facebook, for your IG story, for your reel. So you can repurpose it and just take out pieces of it. Maybe you were talking about a quote. Maybe you're summarizing an important key takeaway. Take out 1 minute of that videos and repurpose it to your Instagram stories, Instagram reel. That's another way of how you can use that video. All right. So what else can you do with the video? You can turn it into these really cool videos that you can share on your Instagram story. Yes, so you can use it and change like waveforms, right? Just like how you would share on a podcast episode, you can use a podcast episode and reshare that onto your Instagram, and you're still using the same piece of content. So far, I have not created any single new contents right now. It's all coming out from the same videos. All right. So with the transcribed version of it, what can you do? What are some other ways that you can use it? Other ways like sending it out to your email. So as the experience that we have learned from yesterday, that Facebook is not something that you own. You can have a group but you don't own the group, right? Facebook can shut it down anytime, and you won't have access to any of your group members. You don't own the Instagram, because if Instagram decided to crash, you have no ownership to the Instagram. So what do you have ownership of? And what you do have is a list, and the list is valuable, which is why I keep emphasizing that those of you who are working on your website, you're working on the beginning phase of your journey, make sure to have some type of freebies to offer to your audience, some type of lead magnet that you can invite your audience to come and download. And what do they exchange? What do they give you in exchange? They give you a very valuable piece of information that you have the sole ownership to. You own that list. So no matter where you are, what happened to the social media, you would always have access to the email to be able to communicate with your audience, regardless of what happened to Facebook, to Instagram, to YouTube, any of these social media platforms. And so it is absolutely essential that you grow your list if you want to really truly have a way of communicating and connecting with your audience. So that is my word of advice, word of wisdom for this Tuesday, is to focus. If you don't focus anything at all this week or for the next upcoming week, focus on thinking about how you can take ownership of your own business by creating some type of lead magnet, invite people to exchange their valuable piece of information with you. That is valuable. That is powerful. There's so many things. I should just do a live training about this, like lead magnet, list building. Absolutely essential. And you definitely want to invite the right audience into your list. Okay. Let me just put that out there, because I've done it in the past where my list was at the extent of, it's not the people I want to work with. Let's just put it that way. All right, so we have the transcribe, we turn it into email. What else can you do with it? You can turn it into a checklist, right? So if you're thinking about, what do I need to offer as my freebie? What do I need to, how do I generate a lead magnet? Checklist is like something that's great. Everybody wants a checklist. I can post it on my refrigerator or post it on my post-it board, and I can just check off things. Going to, how do you turn on the camera? How do you do storytelling? That's actually one of the checklists I share with my Brave Your Brand challenge. And in one of the worksheets inside the workbook, it's a checklist of how you create, how do you tell stories. So if you go through the steps, making sure that you have all the elements that's in place and you have a story to tell. All right, so checklist is something that you can also repurpose out of that piece of content just by having the transcription. You can also, let's say you do a webinar series on energy leadership, for example. You're doing energy leadership and you're talking about it for multiple days, and each video is about 30 minutes long. And so you have a huge excessive amount of material that you can turn into transcription, and that transcriptions can be used into an ebook. So you just provided and wrote yourself an ebook that you can offer to your audience. Yay! Right? And you only done the videos so far, that you haven't created anything else. All right. So let me just summarize the 10 way that you can repurpose a single piece of content. And this is why I'm so big doing video, because video is really easy. You just come on here, you start talking, right? When you speak, that turn into word turn into transcription turn into quotes turn into emails and blog posts and infographic and quotation Instagram posts. And it all came from just one piece of single content video. How simple is that, right? Easy. All right. So let me just give you an example of how I make it possible. So over the weekend, I wrote a blog post, and the topic is how perfectionism sabotage my business. So that was my blog post, right? So I'm going to write a blog post. Those of you who are writer or you're focusing on growing your blog, writing your blog, this is how you can repurpose your blog post. So you have the blog already, you've written the content, it's out there, you published it. So what you can do is you can use that same topic, how perfectionism sabotage my business, talk about it in a video format. So the same content, same exact tips that you talk about in your blog post, now you're going to talk about it in a video format. Once you have that video format, you go in and using computer programs, very simple, extract and save your audio version, upload it into a podcast episode or a SoundCloud where you can store these audio version of the tape. Now that becomes reshareable. And all you have to do with podcast is do a little intro and outro. Voila, you have a podcast episode out there on how perfectionism sabotage my business. So that's the third way of how you can repurpose that same article that you just wrote over the weekend. Transcription material can be used into quotes, inspirational sayings, or words, or Instagram posts. And then you can email that transcription to your email subscribers. You can share tips, infographic on your Facebook or your Instagram. And then you can create a checklist out of that blog post. Maybe you share some tips on how to overcome being a perfectionism. Then you can create an infographic, and that can be reshared or send it to your email subscriber. And then lastly, but not least, if you have multiple series on something on a particular topic, that particular piece of information can then be turned into an ebook. Now, how many pages do you need on an ebook? 20 pages. Yeah, ebook only need to have 20 pages. So see how easy it is just to put your ebook out there and say, I have an ebook. Here's my website. Go and download my ebook. And you can even charge, right? Ebook, you can easily charge like $10 or $8 and just have people pay you for the ebook, depending on how you want to use that piece of information. All right. So all these, it's easy said than done, right? So what if you're just sitting there and you are stuck with that idea of, I don't freaking know, Michelle, how to come up with that even one piece of single content. Tell me how. All right, my friend, I'm here for you. I'm going to tell you how. So one of the things that I had talked about in the Brave Your Brand Challenge is that your story is amazing. You are your best source of content. You know exactly what your journey is about, the lessons that you have learned, all the good things that you have discovered on your journey in becoming a coach. So talk about it. Talk about how your struggles made you who you are, right? Share it from a personal perspective. You don't have to go into detail of how that had happened, but talk about what inspired you to become a coach. So one of the format that I had shared with my Brave Your Brand students is that when you talk about your content, you want to talk about using the following framework. Okay, I'm going to give it to you because I love you so much. and I want you to be successful. So here is how you sit down and plot out that one piece of a content so that you can repurpose it in 10 different other way. Okay. When you think about content, think about the overarching topic, the themes that you want to talk about. Is it about leadership? Is it about mindset? Is it about how to overcome a self judgment? What is it that you want to talk about? What is it that you want to focus on? The more focused you are, the better you're off. So focus on one single topic, ideas, themes for that particular month. So every month there might be a different theme, right? So October, maybe it's what scares you the most since we're celebrating Halloween. So talk about what scares people the most and talk about and elaborate on that idea of the being scared, being afraid. There's your topic. Now, write about it. How do you write about it? What is it about being scared? And why is it even important to talk about why we get scared? When you are scared, what are some of the things that you do? And when you are scared, what are some of the result or outcome when people are scared? Talk about why people need to know about being scared or being afraid or having the fear. Then you talk about how you, as a coach, help them to overcome this fear. How do you help them to overcome the feeling of I'm holding myself back because I am afraid? How do you help people? How do you help your client do that? Share one tip and one tip only per content. Okay, don't be so ambitious and start sharing multiple pieces of tips. Here's how you do X, Y, and Z, and this is how you go into detail of X, Y, and Z. No, just share one piece of tip and help people with that. And then finally, you're going to end it with some type of call to action. Maybe if you're interested in working one on one, here is my contact information. Here is the link, right? So if you're writing, you want to make sure at the end of your blog, you have a call to action. Tell people what to do. So that's how you come up with your content. And you will never run out of content because you are your own source of content information. And that, my friend, is powerful because you give your audience an opportunity to get to know you, get to know how you're helping them, and you give them the opportunity to finally work with you. That's how you create your content. And I can talk about myself for years and years because I know myself well. And I know you do too. You know yourself so well that if I were to ask you to just jump on a call with me and talk about yourself, I know you're going to tell me about everything, from going to the grocery to going to the beach over the weekend. And you're going to tell me a lot of things about yourself. So just get into a conversation with me as the way that you will write. So you speak as you write as you speak. It's that simple. Yeah. So hopefully this is help. This is going to help you to creating or writing that next blog post, or you're creating a video. Then more kudos to you, and please be sure to tag me if you're creating a videos or writing a blog post. Share it with me. I want to learn from you. I want to support you any way that I can. Now, if you haven't already done so, be sure to check out my freebies. There is a freebie in on top of the page here. If you go to the guide section, you can actually download a copy of my personality assessment. And the personality assessment is going to help you to really identify where are you blocked, where do you feel the most imbalance, kind of like it's pushing you feeling that push and pull. You need to do something, but somehow you're not doing it. Sometimes it's because we don't feel supported. We don't feel that this is something that actually nurture our soul. So what can you do to call upon those personality that really support you in what you're doing at this moment? You have that available to you. You can always call it out, right? So if you're lacking the wood element, then call out the wood element. Use more of the wood element so that you can get things done. So if you're interested, be sure to check out the welcome section under the guide. You can get a copy of the personality assessment, just download it. And there's actually a personality quiz that you can take to really understand what your dominant personality is. So with that, happy Tuesday, and I will see you all on the next training. Ciao. Bye.